Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs, and in this video we are doing a what you're working on Wednesday. Yes, followed by a pattern haul from Black Friday. So before we get started, go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button, and also turn on the notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into this video. All right, so I set up all my what you're working on Wednesday the same. I'm going to tell you what I worked on this week or finished up, followed by what's coming up this upcoming week, and also show you the patterns that I picked up from myself over the weekend during the Black Friday and Saturday sale, because I picked these up Saturday for myself. So let's go ahead and get right on into what I'm wearing, what I sold this week. All right, so this week I'm gonna actually do a pattern review for this dress, which is Simplicity 8178. Yes, so this dress came together so quickly, okay? So for this, I was supposed to do a three-piece set where I do the jacket, the wrap dress, and the jumpsuit. So if you listened to my video last week, I talked about how I was not going to do all three because we're at the end of the month of November. Well, November just ended as of yesterday, right? So because it was towards the end of the month, I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna get all three pieces done. And then on top of that, this fabric was supposed to be used for the jumpsuit instead of the dress. And then I didn't have enough fabric. So anyway, long story short, I ended up making the dress instead of the jumpsuit. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the picture of the pattern up now. And the pattern description for this pattern is Mrs. Jumpsuit with slim or wide legs, dress and jacket. So the sewing skill for this pattern, I would say that you could do it as a beginner as long as you're an intermediate beginner, because you do have to be able to attach elastic. So I would say intermediate beginner can tackle this pattern with no problem whatsoever. All right, the pattern pieces used to construct this this wrap dress. So I use pattern pieces 1 through 4, and then pattern piece number 7 and 10. So for this pattern, Simplicity 8178, I use the bodice front, the bodice back, the neck facing, which is pattern piece number 3, pattern piece number 4, the armhole facing, number 7, the pocket, and then number 10, the skirt front and back, where you would cut the skirt front and back on the fold. So those are the pieces that you will need in order to construct view C, the dress. The notions used. So the notions used for this pattern was just basically your thread and your elastic for this. Now for the elastic, you need to use a 1/2 inch elastic in order to do the casing around the dress. But that's the only notion that you will need in order to construct this dress. Pattern sizing. So the pattern comes in 6 through 14 and 14 through 22. I have the pattern of the size 14 through 22. That's the pattern that I needed to do this dress in my size. So the size I cut. So for this pattern, I cut a size, I think it was a size 16. Yes, I cut the size 16 with the finished bust of a 43. However, I did have to grade it at the waist and at the hips because for a size 16, the finished waist would have been a 30. My waist is a 32.5, 33 on a good day. So depending on what I'm making, like a dress or a top, I go with a waist of a 32.5 to 33. For jackets and things of that sort, I go for a little bit of room because I like to wear undergarments underneath. So I normally go for about a 35, 36 inch waist. During those type of garments. and my hips are a 40.5. So most of the time I go for 2.5 to 3 inches of ease in the hip area, depending on what it is that I'm making. So for this, I did have to grade up for the waist to an 18-inch waist. And then I added like an inch to that 18. So I just kind of like graded the lines from a 16 to 18. And then at the hips, I had to go up to a size 20 at the hips because like I said, my hips, my bust is a 40.5, my waist is a 32.5, and my hips is a 44. So with that being said, I am between sizes and you just have to grade your pattern up. It's very rare that I cut a pattern on one size without doing any grading whatsoever. It's very, very rare. So that's the size that I cut for Simplicity 8178. It was a size 16, and then I just graded the pattern. Any modifications to the pattern? The only modification that I did was I drafted belt loops to go on the side. But other than that, I did not do any other modifications. And I also added a tie belt, but I do have a tutorial for how you draft tie ends for the back of your dress as well as belt loops. You can look up and see that video if you are interested. The tie belt, I just basically used the pattern piece of Simplicity 8221 because I already had the pattern piece out from last week, which you're working on Wednesday when I did the shirt dress. That pattern was already out, so I just took the tie belt from that pattern, sewed it up, and attached it to this dress and just made some belt loops because I had some scrap fabric left over, which I have none of this fabric left. I have a little bit left for my quilt, but I don't have anything else left for this fabric, so I just made belt loops on the side, or you could call them carriers on the side. But that's the only modification that I did for this pattern. Did it look like the photo drawing on the pattern envelope? Outside of the fabric, yes, it does. There are, I mean, if you're looking at the fabric, of course, it's not gonna look like the pattern itself because of the busy print. But other than that, yes, it does look, it does look like the pattern envelope. Were the instructions easy to follow? So, to be honest with you, I looked at the instructions just to do the review, but I have done 3 or 4 wrap dresses this year. So the construction is pretty much the same. The only difference would probably be if you need to close up the bodice or if you have to add a neck band around your bodice area. But other than that, the instructions are easy to follow. I think the only part that could be a little fuzzy is doing the casing around the waist, but other than that, it's easy to follow. The likes about the pattern. Likes and dislikes. So what I like about this pattern is it's a wrap dress with some pockets. So I did like that part. But what I do not like about this pattern is it does not, listen carefully, it does not have a tie belt. So all you have is just the elastic waist. I mean, for me, I need that tie belt to snatch all of that waist in and everything. So that's why I just added it. But that's the only dislike that I did not like about the pattern. And this dress falls from the body to the point where it's like, yeah. I mean, it's like, eh. So this dress does remind me of a dress that I just made, which was Butterick 66. I think it was 6677. It's pretty much the same style of dress. The only difference is it has a wrap bodice compared to that dress just having a boxy finish. But other than that, this dress was amazing. Didn't have no issues whatsoever with this one. The fabric used. So the fabric used for this dress is 100% cotton and Cara print. I actually purchased this fabric from Afric Clothing Store back in like 2019. I just used the rest of this fabric for this dress, which was supposed to be a jumpsuit, by the way. I did pants at the beginning, trousers at the beginning of the year using Vogue 8883. So I just pulled this fabric out and just used it for this dress. So that's the fabric used for this pattern. would I sew this dress again? To be honest, no. Reason being is because I have so many other patterns that I could sew, and this one, I mean, it's cool and everything, but nah, I wouldn't sew it again whatsoever. All right, would I recommend this pattern to others? Yes, I would recommend doing the jumpsuit. The dress, not so much. I mean, I like the dress, but I wanted to do the jumpsuit and in this fabric. So I would recommend the pattern to others, but I would recommend doing the jumpsuit in this pattern versus the dress, just in my opinion. So my pattern rating for this pattern is a 3.5. There's a lot of likes, but there are things that I did not like about this pattern. One being the casing, that it could be better for, you know, how they want you to do the casing. I really don't like the fact that this does not have sleeves. Like, at least give an option for sleeves. You know, if you wanted short sleeves or whatever, give an option for that. Another thing that I did not like about this pattern is it did not have a length variation if you wanted like a maxi length or any of that stuff. So there's many things that this pattern does not have that I wish that it did have for those who are beginning sewists. Even though this pattern says that it is easy to sew, it is easy to sew, and I think that's why they did not give you a lot of variations to this pattern. But I think they should have allowed for a sleeve option for those who do not like the sleeveless option, because anytime I do something that's sleeveless, it's like I have some gaping. I did pull as much gaping out of the armhole as possible, which is why I tend to sew a lot of things with sleeves, to not have that gaping on sleeveless tops or even sleeveless dresses or anything like that. Simply because when you're a bigger busted woman like myself, you tend to get that gaping. You have to pretty much do a full bust adjustment in order to get rid of it. So those, that is my pattern review for Simplicity 8178. So now that I've talked to you about what I sewed this week, let me go ahead and tell you what's coming up this upcoming week. All right, so this upcoming week, I have already started working on this trench coat. It's almost done. I want to say it's about 80% done. Okay, so I do have to do a couple of more things to this trench coat, which I will not show in this video. I'll try to have it done this week and hopefully post it over the weekend or next week. The trench coat that I am doing is Bodice 6331. That is the pattern that I'm doing for this trench coat. So I'll take a couple of photos on the process, because there are some things that I do not like in the pattern, which I will detail that in a pattern review for this pattern if you have this pattern taken out. It is quite a bit of pieces. I think I counted about 15 pieces. So it is a lot of pieces for this trench coat, but that's what's coming up this upcoming week. Now that I talked to you about, or told you about what's coming up this upcoming week, let's go ahead and get into those patterns that I picked up from Joann's during the Black Friday sale. All right, so during the Black Friday sales, I picked up roughly, I want to say about 11 to 12 patterns myself. So these are the patterns that I picked up for myself. I don't want to waste any time. So the first one I picked up is an oldie pattern, which is Simplicity 2314. This is the skirt and 3 length pattern. Now I picked this up before, and I made this pattern at the very beginning of my sewing career. I'm saying sewing career, but sewing journey, I mean. Mimi G had a tutorial. I'm not sure if it's still on YouTube, but this was one of her first tutorials like 8-9 years ago. And I picked up this pattern, made it in a wrong size. I made it in my ready to wear size, and it did not fit. It was more like for a kid, to where my daughter couldn't fit it. I had to give it away to a niece in order to, you know, have someone wear the skirt that I made. And it was lined too. I was so butthurt. So I decided, I seen it in a pattern drawer. I wasn't looking for it. I was looking for a different pattern. I seen it in a pattern drawer. So I just picked it up. Now this is a learn to sew pattern. I'm interested in doing view C on the pattern when I get around to it. The fabrics that you can use for this pattern is any type of woven fabric like cotton. You can use Ankara print. You can use linen, denim, corduroy, poplin, pretty much any woven fabric of your choosing in order to construct this pattern. Once again, it's Simplicity 2314. The next patterns that I picked up are all new look patterns. They are the new look patterns for fall 2021. So I'm just gonna tell the number. The first one is N6705. Which is a easy to sew pattern. It's this one right here. The description of the pattern says Mrs. 7 sizes in 1. Duh, right? But really what they should have said that it is Mrs. Dress. You know, it is a dress pattern. I picked it up because I do like view B on the pattern, which is the long sleeves. And I can see myself making this relatively quickly, but this is New Look 6705. Next pattern is New Look 6706. I picked it up because I do like view A, which is the hooded version of this pattern. Once again, the description says it's a Mrs. 6 sizes in 1. Duh, you know, extra small to extra large. That's about 6 size range, really. But it is kind of like a hoodie / tunic pattern. But I like view A with the hood, and that's the view that I'm interested in doing when I get around to this pattern. Once again, it's New Look in 6706. Next one is 6707. I like this pattern. I like it for 2 reasons. I do like view A on the pattern, but I also like view B on the pattern. And you guys know that I love button down shirts. That is my jam, okay? So of course the description is very vague. It says Mrs. 7 sizes in 1. So basically what it is a top, or you could call it a shirt pattern. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. You have about 5 buttons on this. The fabrics that you can use is basically any type of woven fabric, your cotton, chambray, dotted Swiss, gingham, linen blends, poplin, shirting. So basically any type of woven fabrics you can use in order to construct this pattern. Yeah, I like this pattern. It's different too. So looking at the pattern itself, it looks like in order to construct view A, you need roughly about 9 pieces in order to construct this pattern. So it's not like a quick, you know, 4 or 5 pieces and you good to go like Butterick 6686 was. But I mean, you could find some good shirt patterns where it's not that many pieces. But once again, this is 6707. Next one is 6708. I picked it up because I like view A on the pattern with the long sleeves. This pattern is a top pattern. The description says that it's a Mrs. 7 sizes in 1, but really it's just the top pattern. I like view A and B, but I'm interested in doing view A on this pattern. The fabric options for this one is also any type of woven fabric, your cottons, your, you know, chambray, linen fabric, you know, anything that's basically woven fabrics. But once again, this is another easy to sew pattern, just like the last one, 6707, but this is 6708 New Look. Next one is 6709. This is a knit pattern. The description says that it's 6 sizes in 1, duh. But this is basically pant pattern, and I picked it up for view A. That's the view that I'm interested in doing. And once again, it's 6709. Next one is 6710. I like both view A and view B. So for me, I plan on doing view A, but also view B, but chop it up to basically the knee and maybe add some pockets or something, add like a little sash or something to give it some, you know, because view B is looking boring on the pattern, but we can always bring these patterns to life. That's why when I look at patterns, I do not look at the front of the envelope. I look at the line art. That way I could see different possibilities of what I could do for these different patterns where the model don't give the pattern any justice. Like, here's the thing. If you are looking at the pattern, right, and you notice that the model just look like, no, not at all. 9 times out of 10, you will not pick up the pattern because of what the model looks like on the pattern. They not doing justice to the pattern, you know, being really nice about it. Sometimes you can't look at what the model is wearing. You have to think outside the box by looking at the line art and see all the possibilities that you could do for that pattern. So that's a tip that you may want to do, is start looking at the line art on the inside of the pattern, on the pattern instructions, or online, or the back pattern portion right here. Look right there and see the line art versus just the front of the pattern. But once again, this is 6710. Next pattern is 6711. Of course, you guys know I love business wardrobe type patterns. This one fits the bill. This is a knit one. It's 6711. I like A, B, and C. So the pattern description says it's 7 sizes in one. But for me, I think I would do the combination of A and C. To me, it looks like a cardigan and pant pattern, and then you could just throw on like a knit top and call it a day. So that's the plan for this. This is 6711. Next one is 6712. Of course, this is a 2-piece set, A and B. The pattern description is misses 7 sizes in one, but really it's a top and pant pattern. The fabrics that you can use is basically any type of woven fabric, pretty much, for the top and the pants as well. Once again, it's 6712. Next one is 6713. This reminds me of that shacket pattern from Simplicity of 9338 is that shacket. I'm sorry, 9388 is that shacket pattern. It reminds me of that. I'm interested in doing this as well. During the fall winter season, I plan on doing this pattern. Once again, it's 6713, and it basically just says it is a unisex 5 sizes in one. The fabric option for this pattern is French terry, fleece, double knit, corduroy, sweatshirt knit, denim, and then your contrast fabric is cotton, ripstop, or nylon. Now for me, I would probably use a fleece fabric in order to do this. I might do it in a solid or a plaid, I'm not sure, but once again, this is 6713. And the last pattern that I picked up is for my daughter. It's 6716. So this pattern just says it's a child and girls 9 sizes in one. Duh. It is basically kind of like a dress, shirt, dress style. But it has like a Henley style top that has a placket, right? But it's not like a shirt dress that opens up. It just has that Henley style placket, and it reminds me of a dress, but also a top as well. But this is 6716. The fabric options for this one is any type of woven fabric, like your chambray, broadcloth, corduroy, cotton, blends, lightweight denim, flannel, linen. For this pattern, I think for my daughter, we would probably either use linen or, if we do not use linen, we would probably use a flannel fabric for that. But once again, this is 6716. All right, so that's all the patterns that I picked up from Joann's doing Black Friday. If I get 150 likes on this video, I would do one of those new look patterns as a sew along. So don't forget to hit that like button if you would like for me to do a sew along to one of these patterns. Now, that's all that I have for you in this episode of What You're Working On Wednesday. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, turn on the notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video. So until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. And of course, until next time, keep sewing.